Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Hope. Today we are really honored to have with us Professor Dr. Axel Klein, who is a professor at the University of Cologne and in Germany, and serves frequently on the DAAD scholarship application panel. And in this conversation we would like to ask him about his research and most importantly gain an insight on what makes a strong DAAD application, especially the art of writing an effective research proposal. So Professor, thank you very much for your time. So to begin with, I would like to ask you about your research work and current project that you are undertaking at the University of Cologne.
Well, thank you very much for the introduction. I'm happy to be here, and maybe I could help with some comments and some recommendations for that we get good candidates at our selections and good candidates for a PhD in Germany. My research background is originally coordination chemistry, but I moved to organometallic chemistry, but also to main group organometallics, covering but also solid state chemistry in the initial section. Now I'm moving more into applied fields such as nanoparticles, so functionalized nanoparticles, combined materials, hierarchical materials, bioinorganic chemistry, and also organic molecules of concern of biomedical use. So I have a broad education in the meantime. I learned a lot from other fields, including engineering, medicine, biology, and even geoscience, which qualifies me pretty well to understand all the candidates that we see at the DAAD interviews, because the DAAD is supporting not only chemistry, of course, but all fields that you can imagine. That's very important to know. That means all students from all faculties can apply for this wonderful 4 years fully funded PhD program of the DAAD.
Are there any collaboration opportunities for the student from, particularly from Pakistan?
Okay, I can help students in many ways, and that's true also for other of my colleagues. On a simple level, we can help them to find a host for an application, for a scholarship application. I can help scientifically people when they have problems to get something submitted, a journal publication which has been rejected several times for lacking experiments. Then we can step in and do the demanded experiments. Reviewers are like that. We can measure samples for you, for students from all over the world, and we can host them for a short internship or for a fully funded PhD project. We can host faculties for shorter stay, longer stays. We can launch together proposals at the National Science Foundations. So there is a huge range from a few hours to months of collaborative work that I can offer.
Okay, regarding DAAD application, could you tell us what are the main criteria or the qualities that the panel looks for in a strong applicant?
It's very simple in one way. The DAAD is not supporting people, but it's supporting excellent science. So, and having said this, it's very clear that the proposal must be what you call cutting edge, in that case chemistry. So it must be really on the edge of what is known. So there is the current state of knowledge, and the step that you want to take with your proposal must be large. It's a project for 4 years, so it's not a master thesis, it's not a bachelor thesis, it's a PhD. And that should be shown in the proposal. So you present the state of the art as you would do in the introduction of a paper. And then you say, well, what is the step forwards that we want to take? And it's read by experts in the field, so they easily recognize if this is really a big leap forward or is this just routine work. So routine work is not funded, even if the people are nice. That's not a criteria. So there must be excellence in the work. And that requires that you find a host that stands for exactly this field. So the person that is your supervisor or your potential supervisor must be an expert in this field, absolutely. Because the one who will be reading, the panel member or the expert who will read your application will read this name, and if this name does not fit to this project, then you're gone. So that must be a really strong connection between you and the host. You have probably even worked together on the proposal and the proposal. You can imagine this as a triangle, and every part of this triangle has to be strong. There must be no weak link, not between you and the host. So the best case would be you have met personally, or if not possible, you had several Zoom meetings, online meetings. You ideally agreed completely on every word of the proposal, regardless if it's written mainly by you or by the supervisor or both together. That's not really important. The content of the proposal is important, the excellence of this proposal, and the link between the three parts. And if this all is convincing, then you will be invited to an interview. Or let's put it more technically, you apply you send your application on a portal, on an electronic portal that includes the proposal, a timeline, a letter, an acceptance letter from your supervisor, but also all your grades, all your documents. Some of them have to be translated if they're only available in Pakistani languages. You have to translate them into English at least so that we can read them. You need an IELTS of at least 6.5, and all this you have to submit. And if this is complete, then your application will be registered at the DAAD. And this all has to happen before August of every year. It's something like end of August. That's not fixed, you have to check it on the DAAD homepage. And then you are accepted, your application is accepted, and then there is a Pakistani board that will select. Okay. And they will select, so this year it was, I think, 120, they selected 70 out of them, and we will interview now these 70, that's the next step. So we'll be invited, if everything goes well, we'll be invited for the interview, and there you have to somehow defend your proposal.
Okay, since you have been evaluating the Pakistani applicants over the last, I think, 9 years or so, so what kind of common mistakes or weaknesses that you have seen in the applicants from Pakistan?
Not many, but a recurring thing is that the candidates are not really aware of what is written in the proposal. So this is the case when the host proposes something and the candidate agrees with it, but does not really master the thing. The point is, in the interview, you are really alone. There is nobody to help you. You have to really understand each and every word that you have submitted. Just to remember, for us, it's regardless if you have written that or the host has loudly written that, but you at this moment have to understand each and every point. You are only a master of chemistry or related sciences, so we do not expect that you solve the Schrödinger equation. But I mean, you have to understand the basics of what you propose. So we will ask you about this, and then you have to honestly confess if you don't know something. That's also acceptable, and that's something people are getting then scared because, oh, I don't know anything about it, and I will try to talk about something else.
Okay.
We don't like that. If we ask you a question, we want the answer. Okay, yes, I know that. I can elaborate a little bit that, but only shortly, but not try to treat us and then get on another topic to, well, spend the time, because the time is very limited. We want to see that the candidates really make use of their time they have to convince us. Because again, after these primary selections, there are 70 interviews, but we will take only 20 approximately candidates. So even if there are 50 excellent ones, we will still choose only 20. The reason is the budget. So we would normally, I really swear that we could take more of them, but it's a federal budget, so it's limited. And we have to really be harsh, and the candidates have to really be convincing.
Okay. I think research proposal is the key, and not only for DAAD application, but for any competitive scholarship schemes. So, from your understanding, what are the essential elements for a good research proposal?
Mm-hmm. It's like in a paper, a clear structure where you can define the different parts. The introduction is the introduction. It must be introductory, leading into the topic. Then you have the research question. So what is the step I want to take? And then you describe the approach. It's like the experimental section in a journal paper. And then finally you come up even with details on what you want to do. And then finally you put a timetable there which reflects again the working steps, the working packages, we call them usually. And then you have a timeline that shows that this candidate has clearly made up his mind, starting from the very first day till, let's say, 2 months before the defense of the PhD, to fill the time adequately and in an optimum way, not to waste time, not to waste resources, but to come to the planned goal. That's very important. So it must be a convenient and convincing thing from the very first sentences to the very last one. Maybe I elaborate also on the very first sentences. We often read proposals that are full of motivation. There is nothing wrong about motivation to do some work, but we are all aware that cancer is a problem, that the energy that we rely on today is based on fuels, on expirable fuels. You do not have to elaborate over several pages on the problem. We want an elaboration on the solution of these problems very soon. So that means you can describe the problem in 5 lines, but then you really come up with the state of the art of science. So we do not want to have these people that want to save the world. Yeah. That's not our business.
Over ambitious,
over ambitious. Yeah. That's the right word for it. And a good proposal is something like that. Okay, this is the point. This is the problem. This has been made, but the solution is still not there. So we think that out of these 5 things, 5 aspects of this work, this is the most promising to advance this field. Okay. So we have presented these 5 in the introduction, and then you take one of them and say, okay, we can do better. And this is our approach. And then you really move on very rapidly with the real stuff. Really down then to earth, like in a paper where you describe which instrument you have used to measure FTIR. We really want to see that the candidate has an idea how to make really hands-on these things, how to solve these problems, not only from an intellectual way, but only having means to really do it. And the timetable will tell us the rest of it. That's really a strong proposal.
And is there any format for the proposal, or it's like any organization is perfectly fine?
It's like a journal paper. You see, journal papers are different in format and in fonts and things like that, but they all follow the same structure. Title, name, abstract. Abstract is nice. Graphical abstract is nice. I really like it. Graphical abstract. And then introduction. And then you come to the point at the end of the introduction. So what is the research question? And then you come with the bigger part, how you want to work out this. And then you have a reference list, like in a paper. So this is the typical structure. And the amazing thing is that I'm coming from chemical science or from natural science, where we have almost the same things. It's true also for the others. If you look at social science, they have the same structure. I mean, they elaborate more, perhaps more words and less facts, but basically the structure is always the same. And it has to be short. Okay. Natural sciences love it short.
Short but crispy.
Yeah. Okay. Short but crispy.
And should it match with the research interests of the potential supervisor?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's one of the critical points. If I would see a potential supervisor listed there, and even if he gives his signature, but this guy or this woman does not stand for this field, I'm skeptical.
Okay.
If this really works out, because I mean, we know that the candidate has to learn a lot of things, and he or she has to really learn it from an expert. Otherwise it could work. But as I said, we have 50 strong candidates and we select 20. Now you can guess what I will do with such a weak link between the proposal and the host. Okay. Probably will have no chance.
And do you recommend contacting the potential supervisor before submitting the DAAD application?
Yes, definitely. So you should also think about the timeline you want to do that. So deadline is, let's say, end of August to set up a proposal, you would definitely need 2 months. So that means you should get in contact during springtime, find the contact, and if he or she agrees, you can discuss a proposal. Maybe you have something or you have a draft of something, and then you can discuss over 2 months, which finally allows you then to really submit a perfect application. That's really important. So you really need time for that, which is really time consuming. If you take the overall schedule, you start, for example, in May 2026. That's already quite late.
Okay, yeah.
Then you will get the application submitted till end of August. Then you go to the interviews in November 2026, and then you can start in October 2027. Maybe a bit earlier, maybe June, but usually it's October. So you have to keep that in mind, that you have to fill also the time in between somehow with scientific activities. This is at least a very strong point when it comes to comparing two proposals. One of them is sitting at home since his master. The other one is still affiliated at a university doing research. You can guess what will be the choice afterwards. So keep that in mind, that there is it's a lengthy procedure, and before January 2027, you will not get informed about the outcome.
Okay.
So that means between the interviews in November and the final decision, the final decision is depending on the budget, unfortunately. It will take another 3 months, and you have to be aware that all this happens. So it's not you apply and the next week you get something. That's not the case.
Okay. A very important question. Students at times find it very hard to approach to a supervisor because most of the cases they don't get a reply of their emails. So do you recommend some kind of tips or tricks to approach to the right supervisor so that you get the response as well? For example, writing a good email, directed email, cover letter, for example, or maybe some other ways to approach to the potential supervisor.
That's a very important point, or that's one of the biggest obstacles for candidates to approach a suitable host. Because maybe I said some sentence before, you really have to find the best host. But you can also make a list. Let's say I have the best host in my mind. Then you look also for a second best and a third best and a fourth best. You make a list. And you can approach them in parallel. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Nobody will be scared because you approach me and my colleague, as long as the colleague is in the same field. If people approach two colleagues from very different fields, I get suspicious. Because I mean, either you want to really make materials or you want to make organic synthesis. There is not a lot of room between them, so that's implausible. So that's the point. Your application has to be really directed to the right persons. And maybe you drop a keyword into your email that you want to work on, let's say, material science or on heterogeneous catalysis. And then if a potential host reads, okay, that's at least me. Because I get emails where people are from medical sciences or from geosciences. I mean, I cannot host them. That's no choice. So it must be really directed to these people. The email should be letter-like. That's very important. Germans are conservative. I must confess. So nothing like hi dear or something like that, or hi prof. I got that. So dear professor, doctor, full name. That's it. And also do not copy the name into an email which you send to the others as well. So be careful about that, because that looks like a chain email. I delete them usually. So I really want, as a potential host, that this email is for me. It's directed to me. It has not been copied from another email, and so really write a personal email to somebody. Submit also your CV, including grades, even if the grades are not great. It's really needed, because many hosts have experience with candidates, and if you have, for example, something below 3 out of 4, the application is a waste of time, because the challenge is too high that a candidate below 3 can make it. I would say.
Okay.
There might be exceptions, but I mean, your chances are getting just low because the host thinks about a lot of work to set up this proposal with a candidate that is intrinsically not the strongest ones. Because at the end, grades are not the most important thing, but they count at the end. If we have 2 potential candidates head to head, then the choice will be again easy. 3.8 to 2.9 is a very clear choice. What is also important, write down where the university where you have graduated. Many hosts that are experienced in the field, they know that there are differences between NUST and some university out there in the country. And a 3.5 at the NUST means probably more than a 3.9 elsewhere. That's the case in all countries. We are quite aware of that. And you do not have to submit a proposal, because we do not really expect that you are able to write a challenging proposal from your position. So that's the conventional way. You write emails. You can also repeat the email after a week. That's not impolite, because sometimes your emails went to the spam undeliberately. And so just write again. Think about second or third potential hosts. And if all this does not work, the reasons are quite simple. Some of the colleagues get 20 to 30 emails a day. They do not even select anymore. So for some colleagues, I fear that you don't have a chance by sending an email. And there is another way. If you have already a contact, let's say a nice person like me, but not the right host for this job, then you can politely ask, oh, I'm trying to contact this person. For a long time, he did not respond. And can you please try and ask him? I will send you my CV and my grades. If you are convinced, maybe you can convince this person to get my host in this field. And I think this is a good opportunity. We all know each other. So I know all colleagues from the field of chemistry and related. So all chemical science, even natural sciences. It's easy. It's a tight network, and that makes things far more easier. So if I'm convinced of a candidate but cannot host it, I could find somebody, send him an email or her an email. Well, this is an interesting candidate, and that's also helpful. I elaborated on that already, because there are unexperienced colleagues as well, and they probably might be scared of picking up students from a country that they don't know, where they don't know the system, they don't know what the NUST is. Sorry to say, but that really happens. I can tell them that Pakistan is a well-developed country. In one part, in the other is less developed, but it means not that the universities are generally poor. There are great universities. There are even excellent universities. They have the best equipment we can think of. It's very selective, and you have to find the right candidates. But in a population of 270 million, you will find suitable candidates for all kind of work. And we can tell them about the problems. We can tell them about the length of the procedure, so that they cannot expect them before October next year. And all these kind of things is important for people who are not experienced in that field. And I think this first personal contact and second personal contact is a good way to circumvent that your emails just end in the spam over a month. You should give them time, so send repeated emails every week, but after 6 weeks or so they do not respond, try the second way. Contact somebody who is already in Germany. It could also be a student that you know from your university or from your supervisor. Many of your supervisors have been in Germany. They have still contacts, and we can also use this way. So you are another potential candidate for this personal way to approach hosts. That's more successful, I would guess, but try it yourself first. I mean, you have to be an independent person. And that means you start first with the hardcore version, sending emails, checking if your email was not okay, send another version of it, repeat sending it, think about a second supervisor and all these kind of things. And but I agree, that's an important difficulty in finding a host.
So one question frequently asked by the postgraduate student is there a compulsion to have a IELTS, for example, a certain score, or maybe the language proficiency certificate from the respective university suffice?
You have to have an IELTS of 6.5.
Must.
Yeah, that's a must. And that's another keyhole, because I mean, if you do not have it yet, you have to register and do this IELTS, which takes you another 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But also think about that in advance. If you do that in April already, then everything is fine. If you're forced to do that in August, shortly before the submission, then that's a bad idea. So you need an IELTS in English, because in most scientific topics, English is the language of the current language. Only if you're working in social science, in German language, in law, and sometimes in medicine, they require also German language knowledges and a certificate on German language. You can do that in Islamabad,
it's possible.
very easily, but you have to know it in advance. So that's what I recommend, to check the DAAD homepage and all the requirements. And that's a typical German thing maybe, but I don't think it's really only German. It's really point by point, has to be fulfilled. If one is missing, if you do not submit an IELTS, your application will fail, because it's incomplete. And the officers at the DAAD, they are no scientists, they just count. And if there are 8 points and one is missing, then the story is incomplete. That's very important, that you really plan each and every step, including the IELTS before.
Okay. And is there a requirement to have a certain years of experience, prior experience, before applying for the DAAD scholarship? Like a fresh candidate can apply, or they need to?
No, there is no experience needed. In Pakistan, we have the situation that we have masters and we have the MPhils.
Yeah, MS and MPhil.
MS and MPhil. We know that's experience, that MPhils are more experienced in the lab, so they are slightly ahead, I would say. But if a candidate has no MPhil but is excellent in many ways, that's not a problem. Work experience is not necessary. We will teach the students everything they need to learn, and then every lab is specific, so there is no point. The only thing, as I said, if you have finished your master, it would be interesting that we see that you are staying active in the scientific community in any way, being, I don't know, teaching children at the school, or helping at the university, or doing even research at the university after your master. So stay in contact with the topic, with research. But even if there is a break, let's say you have born 2 children, that's also not a problem. I mean, if when you were gone from science for a certain time, we still trust that you can come back and do the best. That's very important. There is no exclusion from this, but we would be happy to see somebody staying active in the field.
Okay. And is there any requirement? I mean, for the CV, like there is a format for the CV that need to?
No, there is no format. We like that the grades are easily visible and findable. So be honest with them, and they're probably not the greatest, but that's our thing to judge them. If you hide them, that makes you suspicious. So that's not the point. Otherwise, there is a nice format which is called Euro something. Europass. So we are very much used to the Europass format, and so I like it. And if it's related to the Europass format, it's fine. A picture is always nice, because then, yeah, I mean, at the end it's sympathy or antipathy sometimes. or the feeling that this is a person that you really want to have in Germany in the lab of a colleague. Sometimes it really helps. Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
Okay.
a picture helps.
For the interviews, what qualities a candidate should have to stand out in an interview?
The interview is important. You have to defend your proposal, so you have to show some expertise, but only limited expertise. We do not expect too much. At the same time, we want to see your personality, because 4 years' time in Germany, in a completely different society, in a different country, different climate, different food, can be harsh, can be really challenging. We want to see that you're really a person that can fix problems. A person that is focused on the chance, the one and only, the best chance in life to carry out research on a very high level together with experts in the field. If this person takes this chance or suffers from problems. There are many problems around, but there are also persons around to help you with the problem. So you want to see also that you are a communicative person, able to address the officer of the DAAD if there is some official problem. If there is some conflict between the students, go to the supervisor and try to solve the problem or solve it with this person in your lab. We want to see that you are able to do these things, because there will be problems. During 4 time you will encounter some problems, but we want to be sure that you will be able to solve them or to match them. You are communicative, you are strong in a psychological way. You will feel homesick, we know quite well, but that there is a solution for this problem. There are always solutions. We want to have that you make friends within the lab mates, that you help others, but you also accept help, because you are not the greatest, I am not the greatest. We all need help, but the way of accepting help makes a difference. Because if you accept help very happily, then the person will help you again. If you are reluctant and say, oh, I know that already, that's not really helpful. And but you will have a hard time. 4 years, I know quite well. Germany is a different country. The research environment is much more like things like punctuality, discipline, diligent working, which you might not be used, and it's a serious time, but it's also a beautiful time, because you have the best time of your life doing only one thing, high-end scientific things.
So another question, which is again relevant and very important: how many publications are generally required for a successful applications? Is it the quality or the quantity is important? And maybe attached to this question, how to have a good motivation letter? What should a motivation letter contain for a successful application?
Very good. Yeah. Well, formally there is no requirement of publications, but it's good to see that the candidates have already experienced with writing publications, and then it would be good if they are first authors, which does not necessarily mean that they are corresponding authors. We don't expect that. I mean, it's usually the supervisors that stand at the last and have this asterisk, and they have the correspondence. But the first author is the main worker on this project, and maybe we might even ask during the interview about this paper. So it's very important that if you are on a paper, you should really know the contents. Well, if you're first author, we expect that you know the contents of this paper quite generally, but it's not a requirement. But we are happy that the experience is getting more and more better, that in Pakistan even master theses are published. And quality, yes, we do not count the impact of the journal. We read the publication because it's usually only one. So we can easily read the publication and check if we really find this content of a suitable quality. For the motivation letter, it's like the proposal. Brevity rules. So don't write three pages of motivation letter, but write a motivation letter, because you can also write in the motivation letter why you do that, but 5 lines is enough. Don't come with this save the world attitude. We don't like that. you can write about your background. For example, it's important, like in Pakistan, it's important in Germany, if your background is from an academic family or from a family that is completely remote of any activities, maybe coming even from an underprivileged region. In Pakistan, for example, there are several of them, and we really see that, and we appreciate that if somebody has made it, let's say from a little village in PK to the NUST, did a very good master, and this is your story. You can tell your life story, where you have come from, where you are now, and what you want to do. You can put it on one page or 1.5. That's enough. But we really want to see again your personality. We will not ask you details about your family and about these things, because these are private affairs. So you can write as much as you want. But personally, I really like it if somebody writes. So my father is a taxi driver in a little town close to Peshawar. Okay. That's impressive. Then I did my bachelor in Peshawar, and then I went to the NUST. That's a career already. And if you delineate then this career, it will end up at a Max Planck Institution, something like that. Right. And you see that's an important information for us, because we want not only the excellence of the proposal, we also want to see that this person is outstanding in a way. And I'm sure we have chosen many outstanding students in the past, and I'm looking very much forward in the next 2 weeks to see more of them.
Sure. So another question which is again very much relevant, what about the extracurricular activity of the student? For example, some students, they have extra soft skills, I mean communication, writing and so on, but also some other extracurricular activities compared to the one who is very much in the subject. For example, 4 out of 4 GPA, but lacking the extracurricular activity. How you assess the both applicants?
That's very important. A very good point. Sorry that I forgot it. We are looking at that personality. I outlined that several times, and part of it is social activity, so extracurricular activities. That means working beneficial for other people. This can be anything, from extracurricular activities at schools, teaching school children chemistry or related topics, helping them in the afternoon, or working with disabled people, working with elderly people, or having taken care about sick parents, and all these kind of things. This really counts, because I mean we can see that if somebody made an excellent master in a topic, and at the same time during the same period took care of his or her parents, or has some extracurricular duties like in non-governmental organizations or things like that, that's very important, because we see that they are aware of taking their time for useful things. So they are well organized. It means basically people who are able to master a good master studies and have extracurricular activities, they are good in time management. And this is definitely a plus. I mean, it's always a plus to be a very good human, a kind human. Yeah. Definitely. But from a scientific viewpoint, I find this also important, because it really clearly tells us, well, this person has always capacities to help others. And does not say, oh no, sorry, I want to measure the NMR, I cannot help you. Okay. That's not the point. So this is an important aspect. It's true. Yeah. We take that into consideration.
Okay, so finally, I think, what advice would you give to Pakistani students who wish to secure DAAD or similar scholarship to pursue their studies in Germany?
Yeah, you have to find the right host. Make up your mind if you really want to, if you really dare to go there. It will be a great experience. You can build up a scientific career like that, or you also just personally will grow during that time. That's a huge opportunity. It's challenging. And I have to add, if you once fail in your proposal or after the interview, you should try again. That's something which is underestimated. Some students then think, oh, I'm not good enough. No, you might have been not good enough on this day, but maybe next year. Unfortunately, it's next year, but that gives you time to check the proposal again, and there is no proposal that could not be better if you revise it. And then you come up with a revised proposal, and I must say that I'm always very much convinced about people who repeatedly show up to the interviews, and then if you then have the feeling they are getting better, then they will be accepted at the second time or even at the third time. That also happens, so don't give up. And that's a general rule in science. I mean, we always fail, but you should not give up, and that shows us, well, this is a person that is really dedicated to science, this is the right candidate, and we will finally the person will finally find a way to the right host and the right proposal and make the way to Germany. And then it's a lifelong family ties, I would say. It's not your family, of course, but you have a network of colleagues. You positively remember Germany. This is what most people, well, all people tell me. Yeah. They have a good memory of what happened there, even if it was hard in the beginning. That's also a common experience. But that's a very important point. You can be very proud that you made it. You tackled the challenge of being 4 years independent from family, from friends at home, but did good scientific work, had a number of papers, and you really made it under a completely different surrounding. That means that you can make it also again under a completely different surrounding, because you are strong. It's not that somebody helped you, you are the one who really made it. And this is something that carries you through your life. Regardless what you want to do, if you stay in academia, or if you get a professional in industry or in a governmental organization, you are the one that made it under several circumstances, and that's a good news, and that will carry you for a very long time.
Okay. So with this, we are at the end of this session. I think really appreciate your time, and we hope that your recommendation and your advice and I think the information that you have provided will really help the aspiring students from Pakistan to prepare their application effectively and be successful in the next year. So thanks a lot for your time.
You're very welcome. I hope I could help with this answering these questions, and so I wish you good luck.
तो कोई भी similar question है DAAD application के बारे में या किसी भी और scholarship opportunity के बारे में, तो आप comments के अंदर अपनी question को लिखें. हम पूरी कोशिश करेंगे कि उसका आंसर आपको वहाँ पे प्रोवाइड करें. सो इसके साथ हम आज की इस सेशन को हमने कंक्लूड किया है. आई थिंक आप लोगों ने यू आर एडवाइज्ड टू गो थ्रू दी रिकमेंडेशंस जो प्रोफेसर एक्सेल क्लाइन ने दी हैं, और अकॉर्डिंगली आप अपनी एप्लीकेशन को तैयार करें फॉर DAAD और सिमिलर स्कॉलरशिप फ्रॉम जर्मनी और एनीवेयर इन यूरोप. और आई थिंक ये टिप्स जो उन्होंने प्रोवाइड किए हैं, ये टिप्स आपको बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्प करेंगी टू हैव ए सक्सेसफुल एप्लीकेशन. विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट.